And if you look at the Maxwell equation, you can see integral form and differential form, where this integral form of Maxwell equation give you the behavior of fields and current over closed paths, or over the surface of any arbitrary shapes or sizes or whatever it is. And if you come to the differential part, it shows the behavior of, again, the fields and currents at certain points in space. And in the last 50 to 60 years, even though it is proposed in 1864, sometimes back, this electromagnetics, computational electromagnetics took up in the 1960s when the computers are available, but it is of a low standard, but started in 1960s, and it really shoot up in after 90s. Now it's in the high-end stage. And in the last 50 to 60 years, the computational electromagnetics has become a key enabling technology for modeling low and high frequency applications, be it a transformer or an electric machine or high frequency devices. So several real world problems like radiation is not easy if you are using in analytical packages. So because it's geometry or it is material composition, and due to all this stuff, it is not at all easy to do it analytical. So so that's the main reason behind computation electromagnetics. And also why electromagnetic simulations, due to the high frequency of operation. So nowadays we are in the era of 5G, and we are up for 6G. So frequency is very high in terms of gigahertz. You all know that. So even if you are thinking about a laboratory, you have equipments like network analyzers, computers, or CROs, everything working in the range of megahertz still there. And if you want to measure any equipment or antennas or devices, the range of gigahertz, the equipments and all the stuff will cost very, very high. So the infra and all the stuff available will be very less. As of now, it is building up day by day. So higher frequency of operation, that is one reason behind the EM simulation, why we opt for EM simulation. And the second one, higher packaging densities. We are packing higher the frequency. You all know the size of the elements and devices will go down, and it will be mini in size. And also, if it is mini in size, the system will become highly complex, so that evaluation will be very difficult manually or analytically. That's why you go for this computation electromagnetics. Also, if you the moment you move away from a very simplest design, analytical methods will become useless, because the meaning for useless here is, if it is more and more complex, solving a problem using analytical method is more and more difficult. So we have to go for an alternative method, which is highly available in computational electromagnetics. So yeah, also in order to predict even a simple antenna or a waveguide, we have to simulate that will do good things, and also to predict the behavior even before you build a system and testing it. You can see the picture, which clearly shows conventionally what we used to do is, we will design a system in our presentation, it's an antenna. To design an antenna as per the requirement, as per the applications, or as per the specification given, you will design. And what you will do is prototype the antenna design and then measure it. If the prototype is not up to your satisfaction or up to the expectation, again you have to redesign it, again prototype it, and again measure it. This is the process we have done long back. And today, what we are doing is everything like designing this, instead of prototyping and measurement, all these things are clubbed together, and we are taking it to a virtual environment where we have a high-end computer systems these days with high quality, highly efficient softwares, which will give you all these things like designing, prototyping, and measuring, and also give its performance which will be very close to the actual prototype and measurement. So, so using this computational class, we can put all those in a virtual platform, so that you can optimize the design only even in the virtual environment. So that what is the advantage of doing this is, you all know that it can reduce the R&D cost in terms of commercial industries, wastage, when you are going for prototyping and measurement, and also the time you are spending in this designing, prototyping, and measuring again and again will be eradicated. Also, in day-to-day life, if you look at the products coming in every month, you can see new products coming in and competing, or else you will be out of the market. So you'll be very much aware of the fact that Nokia is not in the market now. Some 10 to 15 years back, they are the leading players in the market. Now, thing maybe like design, prototyping, and measurement, everything should happen within a fraction of time. And every other day, a product should be coming out of the industry. Only then you will be there in the market. You know that. So enhancing the product design, improving the performance, and faster it goes to the market, you will stay in the market. That is the thing happening these days. Also, this is helping this research departments in industries, and which will bring better products to markets by real life simulation before finalizing this prototype and measurements. So this is all these are happening in this virtual environment. That is, computational electromagnetic thing is happening in this virtual environment. And why EM simulation is the key driver behind this EM simulation is one of the things, the simulation efficiency of the tools which is available these days. So simulation efficiency in the sense like meshing conformal shapes, adaptive mesh refinements, these improvements in this simulation analysis tools give it an edge over conventional methods. And also this improved computer platforms like multi-core processors are available today with 64-bit OS, relatively low cost availability, which can we can do the practical real-world simulations like the one shown in the presentation for aircraft antennas using aircraft, which is not at all possible manually to do the testing and all those stuff in the aircraft. So simulation will do all that. So directly what you can do is after all those simulations and things, you can directly install it with 90 to 100% guarantee. And if you look at the computational electromagnetic software products available in this market, you can find n number of products these days. But I had taken very few, which are very dominant and leading in the market. We all may have heard the word. The softwares. First one here is HFSS, which is owned by Ansoft, then acquired by Ansys. Now it is retained by Ansys. HFSS is one of the leading computational electromagnetic software. And second one is ADS, owned by previously with the name of Agilent Technologies. Now it is taken care by Keysight Technologies, which is the name is shifted from Agilent to Keysight Technologies. You may be aware of that. And the third software is FICO. FICO owned by Altair Engineering, and CST by Dassault System, which is also called as Simulia, and XFTD, which is by Remcom, Cosmol Multiphysics by Hosmol, IE3D by RF GlobalNet. And one more thing I'd like to, I thought of adding to this list is Antenna Magus, which is also again owned by Dassault System or Simulia, which is not similar to the softwares what I said. This is only used for designing and validating or estimating the performance before analysis. We'll look into it in detail about Antenna Magus, which will help you a lot in the antenna design stages. So if you look at HFSS, which is the expansion of high frequency structure simulator, which has a lot of advantages and high-end simulators or solvers. We'll look into it in the coming slides. And ADS, Advanced Design Systems by Keysight, again added with many features. FICO is the third one by Altair HyperWorks. FICO, you can see the expansion of FICO. It is a German word and not that good in reading German. So I try not to read that German. Look into it. If someone is very good in German, you can read it out. So the name came from the words FE highlighted, FEKO, and the meaning, English meaning, if you look at into that FICO, it is the field calculation of bodies of arbitrary shape. So field calculation of bodies of arbitrary shape. That is the meaning of FICO, which is depicted in German in this presentation. And third one is CST, which is computer simulation technology, which is owned by Dassault, which has a lot of simulators and solvers. We'll look into it in the coming slides. And next one, XFDTD. X stands for the Windows system, and FDTD stands for finite difference time domain, which is one of the solvers used in XFDTD, which is, which is not one of the, which is the dominant solvers used in XFDTD. And the next one is IE3D, integral equation 3-dimensional, owned by RF GlobalNet. Next, followed it with COMSOL multiphysics, and finally the antenna Magus. So solving methodologies, if you look into the major and dominant one in the market, were MOM, method of moments, FEM, finite element method, and third one is FDTD, which is finite difference time domain. Most of us, including me, when I start a simulation, we all know if you design an antenna and simulate, that software will give you a solution for that. You don't know what is happening inside, what type of solver is used in at the back end of the software simulation, and which solver is good for your antenna design or things like that. But nowadays, antenna, simulation software itself is taking care of all those things, like which solver is better for the antenna design, and will automatically assign the type of solvers. But it is mandatory and very crucial to know what is happening in the back end with the solvers and things like that, which is best suited for the design and which software suits well for our design. So that is the objective of this presentation. So first, ADS is a software is owned by this Keysight Technology, has lot of subsections like ADS schematic, ADS momentum, and EMDS for ADS, along with EMPRO and EMDS. So ADS, you all know, advanced design system, and ADS schematic is for a simulator, which is for the 2-dimensional type of design for components, PCBs kind of thing. And ADS momentum, the second section, these are all in one package, the subsections of this package. So second one is MOM method. That simulator is there for specifically for arbitrary planar geometry. And third one is EMDS for ADS. EMDS is electromagnetic design system, actually. So for 3D designs, you're using finite element method simulator. And finally, EMPRO, which is electromagnetic professional. That is expression for this EMPRO, using 3D finite difference time domain. So if you look at this ADS, it includes all the 3 types of simulators or solvers like MOM, FEM, and FDTD. So it comes as a package, and also a few softwares are having a hybrid solvers or simulators, like a combination of MOM, FEM, and FDTD, which will do a lot. So here in ADS momentum, you all know that this is for especially for 2D metallic structures like planar antennas, sheet of metallic slots in metallic sheets for 2-dimensional things. And for EMDS and ADS, it is for 3-dimensional design of antennas and other devices. So if you look at comparison between these two, the method or solver used for this momentum is MOM, that is method of moments, and for EMDS, that is for electromagnetic design system, it is like finite element method. And computational domain used here is green function. You may have heard about green function. You look into it in the coming slides. And third, next one, EMDS will be using a finite volume instead of a single two-dimensional. It will be using a three-dimensional volumes. And the machine will be definitely a two-dimensional momentum, and it will be three-dimensional in EMDS. So that's all about ADS, glimpse about ADS. And if you look at the remaining players that we have seen in the previous slides, HFSS is having the solvers like MOM, method of moments, finite element method, FDTD, and hybrid. Hybrid means the combination of MOM and FEM, maybe, or it may be like FEM and FDTD, combination of these three. Because certain designs may not give you a perfect solution if you are using one method, like one solver like MOM. MOM may be used for a planar design. If you are having a structural device which cannot be solved using a 2D solver, there may be a requirement of 3D solver too. So if you have a hybrid type of solvers, you can design a system which have both the kind of requirement like MOM and FEM. That will give you a perfect simulation output. XF DTD, in the name itself, it shows that it supports the solver FDTD. Sorry. So FDTD will be the dominant player in XFTD, and Cosmol Physics supports FEM and BEM. BEM is one another solver which is boundary element method, which is somewhat close to the method used with Green's function, and then FICO and CST, which looks somewhat similar, which support MEM, FEM, FDTD, and FICO also supports MLFMM, which is one of the methods which is used along with these things. Multi-level fast multi-pole method is the expansion of MLFMM, and the CSD also having different solvers like MOM, FEM, FDTD, and PO, where PO is the physical optics. This is for very high frequency, and IE3D is dominant for MOM. So if you look at this slide, you can see different types of softwares with the different types of solvers. So if you are going for a design which suits for FDTD, question will be like, what should be the option for me? So the best answer is, if it is FDTD, better opt for XFDTD, because it is mainly focusing on FDTD rather than the combination of MOM, FEM, hybrid, all those stuff. So it will do a better job when compared to others. That doesn't mean the softwares with all the solvers will not do the job, but still it will be a better option if you are not in a situation to use MOM, FEM, or FDTD. Similarly, for MOM, is the sole requirement for you, go with IE3D. That's my suggestion personally. And this shows the hybridization of solvers. So if you look at the FICO, here you can see MOM, FEM, FDTD, MLFMM, and PO. All this combined together is a hybrid package. So x-axis shows you like complexity of materials. So complexity, if the complexity goes on increasing, you will move from like solvers from MOM. If it is less complex, you will be using MOM. Like it's a 2D planar, or it's a 3D planar design. And if it is a 3D planar, you will jump from MOM to definitely FEM. And again, if it is complex, it's a big structure, the best option to go for is FDTD. And y-axis gives you a good picture about one product, multiple solvers. That is entire package, something similar to CST or FICO, HFSS, and all these things. So it can handle anything which covers in this slide. So out of different types of solvers and methodologies used in simulation softwares these days, the best or dominant or leading methods behind everything, fundamental behind every simulations software is these three methods: method of moments, finite element method, and finite difference time domain solutions. So so all these come into a simulator, and we'll be using the best method suited for our design. So first thing, finite element method. Finite element method, or you can call it as divide and conquer. You may be very familiar with this term, divide and conquer. You may have learned this principle even in data structures, divide and conquer. So what we'll do here is, if you're having a main problem like designing an antenna, split that problem into, or the entire structure into small problems, or split into smaller structures, solve smaller problems. So solve the simpler splitted structures, its analysis, its performance, and then reassemble. That is the thing we are doing in this finite element method. So to understand, if you look at this picture, you can see a diagram which is not a regular shape like a square, rectangle, triangle, or things like that. It is irregular in shape. It looks like, I mean, a rectangle, a combination of rectangle, triangle, circle, and all those. How will you find the total area of this picture? So if you are analyzing an antenna, we all know that what is the unknowns. What is the objective of simulation is. If you are simulating, you are going to find the unknowns in the antenna design. So unknowns is definitely like currents flowing through the entire surface. What is the current flowing? That is the main unknown in an antenna design point of view. So if you know the area of the antenna, you can find those unknown values. So if you are taking a structure which is not regular in shape, how will you do that? So how will you find the area of this structure? So only option is split it into 4 or 5 sections, like 1 which is rectangle shape, and 2 which will give you a triangle shape, and 3 will give you one circle in shape, and 4 will give you one semicircle, and 5 will give you again one more triangle. So it is easy to find the area of a rectangle, area of a triangle, area of a circle, and all those things are very fundamental. So if you divide all those stuff and find the areas, you can find the entire area. So after finding the area of 1, the area 1 is rectangle, you know the area of rectangle 1. 2 will give you the area of a triangle, and 3 will give you area of a circle. 4 and 5 will give you the area of a semicircle, and again one more triangle. So what is the final area? You have to assemble these two, all these 5, reassemble it. So if you reassemble it, you will club 1, 2, 4, and 5, and you have to remove the section 3, because that is actually meant for a hole out there in the center of that area. So that will give you the entire area of the structure. So FEM will do this. This is just a glance of what is happening, what will be happening behind FEM. So may split the entire area into smaller area, and then solve those particular smaller area. What will be the performance of that particular smaller area, and reassemble the entire small structures will give you the performance of the entire structure. That is the main work behind this finite element method, divide and conquer. So I have shown this for just for the understanding, and this large structure can be split into small cells in the process called as meshing. So if you have done the simulation in any of the simulating softwares, you may have gone through a step called as meshing of their entire design. There, the splitting of the the entire elements will happen in all 3 dimensions. Like 1 dimensional, it may be, if it is a wire, segmentation may be 1 dimensional. If it is a sheet, it will be in 2 dimensional, and if it is a volume, it will be a 3 dimensional. But shapes may not be square. Okay, this is just for just a representation of 1, 2, and 3 dimensional. Shapes may be different. It may be a triangle, it may be conical, it may be rectangle, or you can mesh it in any shape. So you can see this in the next slide. So in FEM method, discretizes the problem space. So it divides into small regions called finite elements. So most commonly used, you can see that it's highlighted. One is, if it is a two-dimensional one, it is the rectangle one shown there, and if it is a three-dimensional, it is the bottom one shape. So again, if it is two-dimensional, it is possible to split it in rectangular, triangular, square, or any shape, but the preferred one is this triangular. We'll say why this is preferred over the other type of segmentation or meshing. Okay, so if you look at this triangle, you can see 3 nodes and 3 edges. So if you take these type of finite element, there will be 3 types of unknowns, like the parameters associated with node 1, node 2, and node 3. This is one type of analysis. Another may be the parameter. If you know the node parameters, the unknowns may be the analysis associated. I mean, parameters are connected with this edges. So edge 1, edge 2, edge 3 may be unknown. You can analyze that too. So the dominant or preferred shapes for this meshing is what is that? This triangles and the next represented method. So meshing describes the intelligent process of subdividing without any overlapping of finite elements. So remember this point. There should be no overlapping and should not be any place left behind without meshing. Okay. So if you look at the shape given, the outer shape is square and the inner shape is circle. If it is a square, you can mesh the entire square with the small segments in the shape of triangle, rectangle, or any shape. That will do. But if there is a circular in shape, you cannot do it with segmentation or meshing with rectangular or square in shape, because it will not cover the entire space, or there will be some losses. So mesh can be of any type and it should be adaptive. So what I said in the first or second slide is why we opt for this simulation is that is a reason behind that is one reason is adaptive meshing. So whatever may be the shape of the design or device we are giving in, the meshing should be adaptive. If it is square, simple method, go with it with a square type of mesh or rectangle type of mesh, which is easy to analyze and find the results. And if it is a circular, you should go with the triangle so that it covers the entire area. So this will give you a clear picture about that. So arbiter object is given. So arbiter object, it's a random object with a random shape. You cannot predict what will be the shape of the object. If it is so, you cannot say this is the type of mesh we'll be using, like rectangular or square. So the first type of mesh at the center shows rectangular meshing, which is covering all those most of the areas in that arbiter object, but there are locations which is left behind, and also there are areas which is of no use. And if you look at the third one, triangular discretion, which covers the entire arbiter objects, which is very approximate, which is not 100%, but still comparatively it is very approximate discretization, and the level of error is very less when compared to the second picture. So second picture will give you a type of meshing which will give you more error and unwanted calculations and all those stuff. Third will give you a bit of complex meshing, but error is small and the results will be more accurate. So this will be the preferred finite element analysis. And next comes the method of moments. So method of moments is mainly suited for this planar structures instead of arbitrary structure. Method of moments use this Green's function. So you may be familiar with the Green's function, and also solving Maxwell equation will be the key behind all the solvers. In method of moments, Maxwell equation will be solved using those differential form, and in finite element analysis will be using that method of moments will be using the integral form, and finite element analysis will be using the differential form. So integral form will be using the integration of the entire surface, dividing the entire surface into small segments and analyze it and integrate it. So this is only mainly suited for two-dimensional surface segmentation rather than three-dimensional, like FEM. Here we will be using this green function. So integral form will be preferred here. 3D MOM, your currents or fields on the surface of the structure will be our focus, and green functions are the analytical solutions of boundary. So green functions, what is a green function? If you're familiar, you know that, but still I'll explain what is green function. So you assume a device is decomposed in numerous identical small elements, like the one in this slide. You can see a long element which is of size L, maybe, or it may be infinite. And how will you analyze the radiation associated with this at a distance of r, which is the observation point? How will you do that? So we'll basically divide this into many segments, n number of segments, and we'll take a unit segment and analyze the performance at that particular source location at the observation point at a distance of r. That performance or analysis at the location r, or the observation point, will give you the Green's function. So this picture may have given a good idea what is Green's function. So assume a device decomposed into numerous identical small elements. This is one wire type element. If it is a three-dimensional block, you will divide it into n number of volumes. Okay, and after analysis of overall response of each and every individual units, superimpose all those response of that tiny individual elements. We will get the entire overall response. So the response of each and every tiny element is termed as Green's function. Okay, and the integration of all those green functions will give you the overall performance of that particular function. So MOM depends on that Green's function. That is the nucleus of that solver. So finding the analytical, performance of an antenna using this method will use this Green's function. And third dominant method is this FDTD. FDTD will give you the solution for a wide range of frequency rather than when it is compared to FDFD, it is a steady state response. So it will, the difference is, it will give you a steady state response. This will give you a transient response. Like for a steady state response, since it is analyzing for a single frequency, it will give you a steady state response. FDTD is suitable for a wide range of frequencies, so that it will not be a steady one. There will be a transient response. And one more thing to be pointed out is this MOM and FEM are frequency domain, will work in frequency domain, and FDFD will be in time domain. Okay, so since it is time domain, definitely the range of frequency range will be wide in FDTD when opposed to FEM and MOM, because since it is frequency domain, wide range of frequency analysis is not possible. So it will be a narrow band type of analysis. And if you are required to design an antenna or any device with a high quality factor, the band should be narrow. We'll know that. So it should not be wide. So wider the frequency, lower the quality factor. Narrow the frequency, higher the quality factor. So if it is a high quality factor device, if your response and requirement, you should go for either MOM or FEM. And if it is a wide band, like ultra wide band, go with transient response. Also, FDTD, because in FDTD, what happens is the frequency components will be taken in terms of time samples. So in time, when it is converted into time samples, it will take few samples with respect to frequency domain, very few samples, and it will solve it. And if you want the response in terms of frequency domain, apply for discrete Fourier transform and convert it into again back to frequency domain. That is available. So if it is wideband, solve it with the FDTD, which works in time domain, and convert it into frequency. That is the best option that we can go for. So key steps that in the simulation process, First thing is create a physical model, and that is the layout or a geometry. Second, followed it with EM simulation setup, port assignment, defining boundaries, materials, and all those stuff. And third one is simulation, meshing. Final one is calculation of all the parameters like S parameter, field, radiation patterns, gain, directivity, and all. That is post processing. So these are the key steps in simulation process in any simulator. So till now we have taken a look into different types of simulators or solvers and different softwares associated with it, and the importance and difference and comparison between all those things available. One thing I would like to add is, along with this MOM, FEM, and FDTD, we have another two important method like boundary element method, that is BEM, which is a numerical computation method for which will be using an integral form. Okay, which again it will be using the green function, something similar to MOM. And the third, next one additional method is MLFMM, that is multi-level fast multiple monopole solver. This is actually a hybrid method which will be using MOM but with reduced complexity, memory complexity. So you can say it as an advanced form of MOM. And the third one is this physical optics, which is a high end for very high frequency asymptotic devices. So here since it is high frequency, the number of samples and all those things for analysis will be very high, and that's why it is called as asymptotic method, which uses EM waves, which treats EM waves as if it is like a light emanating from a source and traveling into a straight line to the point where we are going to find field is calculated. So these rays emanating from a source to a point may be observed or diffracted or reflected, and anything can happen. And if you calculate the vector sum of all those light reaching that point, there will be no interaction. I mean, you will get the entire performance. And also, one important thing, there will be no interaction in every pair of elements, because each and every pair of elements is assumed to be a light source. So there will be no connection between two sources. That's why this physical optics method is termed as asymptotic method. Okay, you know what is asymptotic. And selecting the right simulation method. So this is the big question every one of us will be asking. And how will you select a software? So as a normal person, these are the questions will arise in our mind, like how easy it is to create a geometric model. So the first question we'll be looking at, if you are given with some 4 or 5 softwares and choose the best, what will you do? We'll think like if you are basic or starter for this analysis, our first question will be which one will be easy and user friendly. Like the one we'll be using in Windows and in Linux, we'll prefer Windows because it is easy to use. We all know that. So that will be the first choice we'll be looking into. How easy is it to create the geometric model? So second question, does the EM simulation environment link easily with the simulation tools? Okay, and third one, do I need to be an EM guru to run the tools? That means, should I be a, highly technical person to do the simulation tools? If it is so, I'll go for the easy one. That is the normal question that will come into our mind. And actually, the question should be like, technically, if you look into the picture, how will you select the simulators or tools? Whether the first question should be whether the geometry is planar. If it is planar, should go for MOM method, because MOM is a kind of a solver which is using Maxwell equation, solving Maxwell equation in integral form, which will divide the sector into 2-dimensional. Okay, and that 2-dimensional will be integrated, and the performance will be analyzed individually and integrated into a unit form. So if it is a 3D planar one, go for a MOM type of solver software. If it is 3D, not a planar, if it is not a planar structure, either FEM or FDTD will usually be more appropriate. And one more thing to add up to this is FEM is finite element method is suited for 3D arbitrary structure as well as FDTD. But the difference here is FEM will be working in frequency domain and FDTD will be working in time domain. Okay, and if you are in need of a high quality narrow band equipment, go with FEM. Or else, if you are not in need of a high quality but for a wide band performance, you should prefer FDTD instead of FEM. And one more point to add up is FEM and MOM simulation and analysis will be irrespective of number of ports. Whatever may be the number of ports, it may be one or n number of ports, simulation will be done in one go. And in FDTD, each and every ports will be considered as individual ports and simulation will be done based on individual ports. Meaning, if there are n number of ports, simulation will be done in n number of times. So now the time taken by the FDTD solver to simulate a design having multiple ports using FDTD will be much higher than FEM or MOM. So if you are having a system with multi port, you have to choose either MOM or FEM or the hybrid model which combines both MOM and MEM. FDTD may not be suitable. So best suited design for FDTD is a very big, if the geometry is very big and port is very minimum, like the one like what is it? A vehicle with a single antenna at the top of the vehicle. The entire vehicle is very big in geometry and the antenna port is one port. So best option to go out for is FDTD rather than FEM or MEM. So both FEM and MEM are natively FD frequency domain, and this is what we are talking about till now. And the frequency domain, MOM or FEM, time domain, FDTD. And the example for this frequency domain is cavities, filters, etc. And time domain FDTD, you can go for very big geometry with a single port. Example, what I said is vehicle with a single antenna or a flight with a single antenna. These are all the examples. So FEM provides most efficient solutions with a large number of ports, not FDTD. So FDTD is will consume more time for simulation if the number of ports are high. Okay. If the number of ports are high. So antenna placement on vehicles or aircraft are best suited for this FDTD method. So how will you choose the EM technologies? How will you choose which is best? So this is a big question. So if it is a planar one, you all know that if it is a planar, most efficient planar multi-layer. So if it is a planar one, you go with MOM, and if it is not a planar one, 3D arbitrary shape, go with FEM and FDTD. Also, we can categorize this as solvers or simulators in different types. Like this is a full wave simulator. You may have heard the word the full wave simulator, and some others may not be a full wave simulator. So what is the difference in full wave simulator and some other which is not a full wave simulator? So in full wave simulator, for example, FEM and FDTD are full wave simulators. MOM is not again, MOM is a full wave simulator. Some other method may not be a full wave simulator. So if it is a full wave simulator, all the parameters, like if it is electric magnet, EX, EY, and EZ, along with the H component like HX, HY, HZ, all these 6 components will be considered for the analysis of the performance. So if it is not a full wave, what happens is one of the components from this EX, EY, EZ or HX, HY, and HZ will be taken out, like which is dominant will be considered, and finally that only the dominant component will be considered for the analysis till then. So what happens is the analysis may not be accurate, but it will be very fast in terms of calculation time. But full wave will do a lot better, even though it will consume a bit of power than the other one. The efficiency and accuracy will be more. And momentum and FDTD, MOM and FDTD method, you can see the plus and minuses over there. So plus in momentum is complex board, which is 2D. Even if it is complex, it will give you good results, and it is highly accurate when compared to other methods. And FDTD will be more effective if it is a 3D complex design. And minus, if you look at the momentum method, 3D patterns is not suited for that. And minus in FDTD is each port definition is a new simulation. So if it is n number of ports, if you are having n number of ports in your device or design, it will consider it as n number of simulations. So instead of having a simulation time of 1 hour, it will consume a time of 1 hour into n number of times. Okay. So if you take a momentum, you can use a two-dimensional complex board for your simulation, and if it is a FDTD, you can have a three-dimensional arbitrary big geometries, complex geometries with limited number of ports. And again, the same thing. This is what we are seeing till now. Best for high quality applications, you have to go for MOM and FEM. FDTD, low quality factor, low Q, and but it's wide band. So FEM and FDTD, most for it's good for multi-port and good for limited number of ports. So choosing the right solver for your application. How will you do that? So which EMI solver should I use? This is the first question. So to answer it, we'll go to geometry type. Or is it a planar or multi-layer planar type of antenna? If it is yes, go with MOM. If it is no, definitely if it's not a planar, it will be definitely a planar plus 3D, or it will be a three-dimensional. Okay. So if it is a three-dimensional, you have two choices, either FEM or FDTD. So again, how will you choose one? So if you want a narrow band, high quality system, go with the FEM. If you are if you are not required high quality but wide band is required, go with FDTD. So which solver should I use? If it is a 3D planar or if it is a 3D arbitrary structure with the high quality FEM. If it is a 3D with the 3D arbitrary structure with the low quality and quality factor and wide bandwidth, go with FDTD. If it is a planar, only go with MOM. And again, if it is a you have now you may have come with the conclusion like either FEM or FDTD. And again, one more choice is there. If it is a multi-port, you have to go with it. So if it is high quality, you go with FEM, and if it is a multi-port, definitely it should be FEM. It should not be a FDTD. And if it is a single port with much complexity, go with FDTD. And finally, the most interesting one is the personal choice. I like frequency domain. It's up to you. Go with FEM. I like time domain. Go with FDTD. And the big question is, are you concerned with the time taken by the simulator to solve it? If no, you can take the personal choice, or else you have to choose either one of the choices in the top without your personal choice. And which solver? This will give you a clear picture in terms of application characteristics. So 3D planar structures, well, you can answer this table. Look at the chart, it will give you the applications, and you can easily choose which solver you have to use. So if it is a 3D planar, momentum solver should be your choice. If it is a 3D structure, again, 3D structure which is not a planar, definitely it should be FEM or FDTD. Third question, whether it is high Q, if it is yes, it should be momentum or FEM. And fourth question, whether it is broadband or narrowband. If it is broadband, so the answer should be FDTD. Third one, large number of ports. So neglect FDTD, it will consume your precious time. So go with momentum or FEM. And next one is frequency dependent material. Again, it is frequency domain will be the suited one. That so go with momentum or FEM. Electrically large structure, so frequency domain analysis may not be suitable. So go with FDTD. Make sure that there is a number of ports is very less, or else you cannot go for FDTD. So, and a few other low frequency. If it is a low frequency, you can go with frequency domain, problem, TDR analysis, biomedical. All those stuffs will help by FDTD. Next application area, planar antennas. Again, planar antennas, momentum. Planar antenna arrays, again momentum. 3D antennas, FEM or FDTD, because momentum will do better if it is a two-dimensional one. 3D arrays, go for FDGD, because 3D arrays will be an arbitrary structure which is very large in size. And if it is a multi-port one, definitely if it is an array, definitely it will be a multiple port device. But still, you have no other choice but go with FDGD, because momentum and FEM will consume large power, even though it is a 3D arbitrary structure. And waveguide, you have to go with FEM, because waveguide you have a specific design resonant frequency working with it, not with multiple frequency. So quality factor is one major thing if you are designing a what is that, waveguide. MMIC, RFIC, everything has their own frequency of operation with high quality. So go with momentum. RF board, again momentum. These boards will be in two-dimensional better, and connectors will suit for FDGDs. So this will be the choices for you to choose which software suits which solver and which solver suits your type of design. And finally, before ending this session, I'll like to add this package, which is Antenna Magus. Many of you may be familiar with this package, but still I'll like to have a look into this package. This is an antenna design software, which is not similar to what you are seeing like CST, FICO, ADS, and other softwares. This is actually a software tool that will help you all the designers to speed up their antenna design and modeling process. That is the only objective of this package. There is a huge database of design antennas which is already tested, and you can design your antenna and it can be exported to CST, and also in my knowledge it will support FICO too. So validated antenna models can be exported to this CST and FICO for simulation and analysis, because this Antenna Magus package will not include any efficient simulators that will give you a better simulation result. This is just for antenna designing and modeling process that will give you an estimation which will be very close to your actual analysis. So this picture will show you the front page of this Antenna Magus with lots of libraries, antenna libraries. You can choose any one of the antennas. So where this Antenna Magus will fit into your antenna design idea. So look at this. This flowchart will give you a better idea. Get system specification. That is the aim. That is the thing you want to do. So you have some specification. I want to design an antenna for a Wi-Fi system or for 5G or 6G or whatever. That is the system specification. That is the input from you. Based on that, choose an antenna type based on the specification from the library available in the Antenna Magus. Okay, and you can find the literature on choose an antenna in the Magus itself. That will give you a better idea whether this antenna will suit for your system specifications. If it is not, go back to again the library, choose some other antenna which suits you, come back to the literature, and if you find it okay, go with the model antenna. So you'll get the model, compare the results to the literature. So if you find it okay and satisfactory, calculate the parameters to achieve the specifications. So meaning you can select an antenna that can be customized by you. The design and thickness of the dielectric, and you can change the dielectric and dimensions, everything you can change based on the frequency. You can give the frequency of operation what you are intended to do, and the design will come into picture once you design using this Antenna Magus. So change it and you get the estimation, simulate the antenna to evaluate the performance. There is an estimator or evaluator within that Antenna Magus that will give you some approximate result that may be expected from your design. And if it is, you found it okay, but take it to the simulator for virtual prototyping. So virtual prototyping means using the simulator like CST or FICO. Here, in my knowledge, what I said is it will support exporting of antenna designs from Magus to CST as well as FICO. You can check it out, and you can find more than 350 plus types of antennas in this Antenna Magus. And exporting the model or design to CST or FICO is up to you. It's your choice. If you find FICO is better, go with it, or if it find it CST is better, go with it. So export it to the simulator for visual prototyping, simulate it and find the modifications. If you find it okay, again you go for the final modification for manufacture, that is prototyping. If you are not finding it okay, again come back to this modification of topology to the Magus, change it, what are the changes you need. Again, go back to simulator for visual prototyping in either of the simulators, find the results you are expecting. So if you find the expected results, you can go for the final prototyping and kind of stuff, and you can go for the measurement. So what this antenna Magus does is, again, making things easy. If you guys haven't gone through this antenna Magus, I suggest to go through this. So this Magus will be, there is a trial edition available, and it will support CST and antenna, sorry, FICO. So it will be a great use for the starters to start with this design before starting your own design using this antenna design softwares. It will help you a lot and minimize your times rather than taking too much of time. So and so finally, output a simulator and optimize the design and prototype and model it and measure it. So these are the steps that is available in this antenna Magus software. So first, explore the antenna, which is good, which looks like the top left corner. You can see the screenshot of the top left corner. You can see the library of antennas, which can be there are different databases and tabs available, which will give you. You can refine it like 5G antennas, Wi-Fi antennas, or what is that, arbitrary antennas, planar antennas, arrays, everything is available. Then have a look into it. Then design it based on your frequency of operation. You have to specify the frequency of operation, what you are intended to do. Give it there. That will give you the modified structure. Like all the design parameters, what you have seen in the, what is that, session 1. Amsulnima has given a clear picture of what are the parameters required for antenna design. So all those parameters will be automatically created by this antenna Magus software. Otherwise, what we'll do is we have to manually calculate the mathematical calculations like length, height, breadth, all those things using the formulas available in the textbooks. So we have to do it analytically, which is a tedious job, which is done automatically by this, which is not recommended for what is that, EasyGo, just for your reference. Okay, and so it will give you all the measurements. So if you vary the frequency, the thickness and all the stuff will come down, and you can prefer what type of dielectric you need, and what is the thickness available in the market, and you can go with it. So and after designing that, estimate the performance, that will give you a clear indication of what can be expected from this antenna design before exporting it to the actual simulator. So that will give you approximate, but not the actual one. It will give you some skeleton idea that can be expected, and export this to the FICO or CSD, which will give you a perfect estimator or simulator output. And also, in addition to this, there is array synthesis available in this Magus. So you can choose different types of arbitrary conformal arrays, which is arbitrary in shape, and planar arrays. Anything you can design, and you can take a single element and assume for this planar or any conformal arrays, and you can simulate it in using the X softwares. And the latest, when I gone through this Magus, latest version available is 2020.3 is the latest version, and the number of antennas available is 350 plus, I hope. And the new things added to this package is like 5G specifications also included in the cellular bands. Till now, there is no 5G specified antennas, so you can go with, if someone is interested in designing 5G antennas, so you can you can explore the availability of different types of antennas which is available there in this package. So some other new features also added in this package. You can look into it. So these are all the references that I have gone through for this preparation. and thank you all for your patience. So I'd like to take a few queries. You can type in the chat box, and I'll be happy to answer that. It will be better to answer in the chat box itself, I hope. Thank you so much.
Sir, thank you. We are having 5 questions, sir.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be answering in the chat box itself, Alan.
Okay, you can read, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Already 5 questions are there, sir.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I'll take it.
Okay.
So thank you all for your patience for this hour. Thank you so much. Hello, am I online?
Hello, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, better I'll try to answer it online itself. So first question is SAR also in HFSS. I hope the question is like, can you find the value of SAR in HFSS? Yes, you can do. You can calculate the value of SAR in HFSS. And second question, which is solver is most suitable for wideband antenna design and MIC dual layer design. So the solver which is suitable for wideband antenna design is FDTD over MOM and FEM, and for dual layer design you can go for MOM. That will do good. And next question, can we design a switch or pin diode in HFSS? You can do it, but it will be better if you choose a simulator which is 2-dimensional. Okay, that is my my suggestion. And third question, if you get equivalent model in antenna Magus. So I think the question is equivalent model is whether it is available in antenna Magus. Yes, it is available, but it is pre-designed and tested. The design shape of the antenna you cannot change. Only thing you can do is you can find a suitable antenna with already predefined shape, and but that can be used for your application in your what is that in your required frequency. And then next question is in CST I have simulated a filter in time domain and then in frequency domain. There is some difference in bandwidth. Which solver should I use? Definitely, if it is a there is a bandwidth change, you have to make sure that whether the bandwidth is narrow bandwidth or if it is a wide bandwidth. If it is a narrow bandwidth, please go with FEM, okay, or MOM. If it is a planar structure, go with MOM narrow band. If it is a wide band, go with FDTD, and but the quality factor will be not that good. And the next question is, what about NIAWR, sir? I'm not sure what is NIAWR. I'm sorry. I'll look into it. And is it possible to import Schottky diodes in HFSS? I don't think so. you cannot import. I mean, your question is like, is it possible to import Schottky diodes in HFSS from where? The question is incomplete. But if your question is like, if it is from antenna magas, it is not possible.
Mr. Das, can I ask one question?
Hello, sir, please.
Yeah. You were mentioning three methods like finite element method, method of movements, and finite time difference methods. As an academic person,
Yeah.
I want to know about the expressions, equations, and the algorithms for all these methods so that I can teach in the subject computational electromagnetics to the PG students. Which books will be, which will give me the expression for Green's function or method of movements, the basic equations and expressions? Can you enlighten me with this?
Yeah, sure, sir. For example, the mathematical expressions and all those stuff cannot be explained within a single session. If you want to explain,
it's a full 45-hour course.
Yeah. So if you want to explain it in FEM or MOM, a single topic will take some 4 or 5 sessions. And one more thing to add up to this is there is no specific book meant for MOM or FEM. We have a lot of informative papers published and stuff. I have it. I can share it with you.
Yes.
Sure, sir.
One more question I want to ask.
Please,
suppose I'm making a massive array. Nowadays, new trend is massive arrays and all stuff. Say we have hundreds of similar antennas. Which software tool or which simulator made by Dassault System or Keysight Technologies I can look into and simulate expressions for 50 or more antenna arrays which are arranged in planar form in 3D format. Is it possible to get results for all these things using these tools, or are there any other tools available?
So definitely we can get the results from these available tools. If it is a massive MIMO array like n number of arrays and n number of ports, the choice for us is based on 2 questions, whether it is a wideband or narrowband. If it is a wideband, definitely we have to go with FDTD, and if it is a narrowband, we can go either with FEM or MOM. But again, one more question is, if it is a massive MIMO, the number of ports will be n numbers. If it is a n port antenna design, so the number of ports increases. If it is increasing, definitely the FDTD will take more time than FEM. So if the design is for narrowband, and even if it is n number of ports, the best method to go with this FEM method. And if it is wideband, the best method should be FDTD, but it will consume time, but no other go. Since wideband, I mean, the wideband cannot be handled that easily by FEM. It will take more than that.
Yeah, one more question.
And one more thing, sir. These two FEM and FDTD will be supported by these dominant players like CST, FICO, and one more thing, ADS. Yeah.
Okay. I want to ask about the matching. That is feed points. So I'm going to feed a transmission line to the antenna. From the transmission line, the signal goes to the antenna and it radiates. So the transmission line will have an impedance, and the input impedance of the antenna will be something different. Is there a possibility of your simulator to get the exact values of the impedance, and also if there is a mismatch and if it causes reflections, is there a possibility of adding matching networks or also matching networks to the antenna in the simulator? It is available?
Yeah, sir. Designing a matching network should have been done by us, and the calculation and all the stuff should be done. It is not at all, it cannot be done automatically by the software. So as an antenna design, if you took an antenna design, even the matching network and those feed lanes will come into picture. As a whole, we'll term it as antenna. So even these feed points we have to design, and we have to make sure that design will suit for that particular antenna without any mismatch. We cannot directly or automatically match that antenna in any software. That is not possible.
Yeah, thank you. Your presentation was very much informative. I came to know about the various simulators available and what simulator I can use for wideband or narrowband. And your the colorful presentation, lot of information I was able to get. Thank you very much, Mr. Darwin.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your compliment.
Good afternoon, sir.
Sir, hello. Good afternoon. Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Yes, actually, I'm working with an energy harvesting purpose, sir.
Okay.
In that rectifier, I'm designing and using ADs, sir.
Yeah.
In that Schottky diodes is not available.
Okay.
So, is that available in antenna Magus, sir?
Can you repeat the requirement?
Schottky diodes, sir.
Schottky diode, definitely no, sir. In antenna Magus, you can find only antennas, sir.
Okay.
Only antennas for different.
Is that libraries is available if online we can import any possible?
You mean antenna Magus library?
Yes, sir.
Antenna Magus library. Antenna Magus library is available, not a package which like antenna Magus. Antenna Magus, which looks like a entire software package, like something similar to CST and ADS. You can,
yes, sir.
yeah, you can install it as a software. It will work with the same license as that of CST.
Okay. Actually,
so if you have CST with the licensed, you can install a Magus which will run with the same license, because since both is were supported by this what is that, Dassault systems. So there you can use it like a software, something similar to what you are using in CST or ADS.
Okay.
It will be a user-friendly one too. But for your question, the diode and all those things will not be available, sir.
If it is available, other software we can import, you can use.
I'm not sure about that. Let me have a look into it.
Okay, sir.
Okay, I'm not sure as of now for this diode, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Hello. Any other questions? Or else we can wind up. Alan?
Okay, thank you, sir. Thanks for the nice presentation. Generally, whoever designs an antenna have a great doubt that which platform should I use. I think this presentation will be an eye opener to all those those people who have doubts in their mind. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, information to all the participants. The afternoon session will start by 1:30 p.m., which will be handled by Dr. Enesa Sudha, Associate Professor, Karunya University. And she will be handling the research opportunities in metamaterials, followed by the session on opportunities in 5G antenna. So that the afternoon session will start by 1:30. Please join. Thank you.
Sir, excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Darwin.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Sir, I have posted the question, but I'm still not clear. In CST, I have simulated a SAW filter.
Okay.
Actually, I used time domain solver and obtained the results.
Okay.
Whereas for the same structure, I have just changed the solver to frequency domain and repeated the simulation. For that, there is some, if it is, for the first case, if it is from 8.9 to 9.1 gigahertz, the bandwidth. For the second case, it is from 8 to 9.3 or 9.4. There is some difference in the bandwidth. So in that case, if I make a fabrication and take measurements, there will be some mismatch between the simulated and the experimental results, no, sir?
Yes, ma'am. So definitely it will be.
I'm asking which solver should I use?
Please, if it is, what is that bandwidth of that filter, ma'am?
So that is C-band filter, sir.
Yeah, in gigahertz range, I hope.
Yes, gigahertz.
Yes, sir. So definitely, please go with the FDTD solver, ma'am.
Okay, sir.
FDTD will do good, but quality factor may not be that good.
Okay, sir.
FEM will do good for this narrow band design, but quality factor will be much better compared to FDTD. But
Okay.
if your objective is for a wide band design, go with FDTD.
Okay, sir.
बट मेरे ख्याल से अगर आप
Sir, I'm using CST, but CST is hybrid of these techniques. No, sir. Is it possible to choose whether I'm using FTTD or FEM or anything else?
It's not clear, ma'am. Someone is talking. 1 minute.
60% तो राशि होगी क्योंकि वही सेम सब्जेक्ट दोबारा आएगा बस थोड़े से
Excuse me, Mr. Malhotra, please mute your audio.
Yeah, please go ahead, ma'am.
Sir, since I'm using CST, it's a as the presentation you have mentioned, it works on FEM, FETD, or hybrid stuff.
Yeah.
So how can I make
Yes.
sure that whether I'm working in FEM, whether the calculation is on FEM or is in FETD in CST?
Ma'am, there is an option to choose the solver in that particular software.
Yes, sir. It's mentioning whether I can choose whether it is time domain solver or eigensolver or frequency domain solver.
Yeah, definitely. If it is time domain, definitely it will be FDTD.
Okay, sir.
The only time domain this available is FDTD, or else it will be MOM or FEM.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, for filter, I have to choose that time domain solver. It means that it will be FETD.
Definitely.
Okay. Okay, sir.
And the output can be taken in frequency domain.
Okay, sir.
By converting it using discrete Fourier transform. All these things can happen in the backend.
Okay, sir.
The process will be done in time domain. That is the only difference, ma'am.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay. Alan?
Okay, thank you, sir. I think we can wind up the forenoon session. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
The afternoon session will start at 1:30 p.m. on metamaterial antenna, followed by the 5G antenna. Thank you.